It was 5:12 a.m. The sky over Osaka was still a navy blue canvas, untouched by light. Most were still asleep, but one boy, 17-year-old Riku, was already on his way to the bakery. Not because he had to, but because he said he would. And in a world full of noise and pretense, this quiet teenager was about to learn the true meaning of respect and become someone everyone looked up to. Welcome to Wisdom Stories, where timeless truths meet modern lives. Today, we bring you the story of a boy who had no special talents, no family connections, no shining trophies, but earned deep, lasting respect from everyone around him. This is the story of Riku, and if you stay till the end, you may just change the way you carry yourself forever. Riku grew up in a cramped one-bedroom apartment with peeling walls and a constant hum of traffic outside. His father had disappeared years ago. His mother worked two jobs just to keep the lights on. The floor creaked with every step. Their dinner table was small, but their responsibilities were large. Riku never complained. He helped out where he could, cooking rice, folding laundry, and making sure his little brother Takumi brushed his teeth before bed. In school, Riku wasn't the smartest. He wasn't the fastest. He wasn't popular either. But there was something about him, a stillness that made teachers pause. He always showed up, always listened, always gave his full attention. In a class full of noise, he was quiet, but not invisible. One day, a fight broke out between two students. Everyone was watching, laughing, and filming. Riku stepped in, not with anger, but calm. He placed himself between them. "I steady, voice firm. This isn't you," he said. "Walk away while you still respect yourself." They listened. And in that moment, people saw something different in him. But just being dependable wasn't easy. Sometimes Riku was exhausted. He'd finish his shift at the bookstore, walk home under flickering street lamps, and wonder, why am I doing this? No one claps for the guy who carries everyone else's weight. One night, his brother Takumi had a meltdown after being bullied. Their mom was too drained to help. Riku sat beside him, didn't judge, didn't interrupt. Just listened, then quietly helped him rehearse how to stand tall. Takumi whispered, "You're like a quiet superhero." Riku smiled and said, "I'm just your big brother." The next morning, Riku's teacher heard about what happened in the schoolyard yesterday. She pulled him aside and asked, "How do you stay so composed?" He hesitated, then said, "I just tried to be who I needed when I was younger." She nodded slowly, as if hearing something rare. Riku began journaling every night, not about success, but about character. He wrote things like, "You don't demand respect. You earn it. Do the hard thing quietly. Let the results make the noise. Integrity is doing what's right even when no one will ever know." He didn't share these. They weren't for others, they were for him. In his third year, something shifted when group projects needed a leader. People turned to Riku when tensions flared. They looked for his calm. He didn't chase attention, but attention found him. But then, something happened. One afternoon, he saw a student named Yuto being mocked for stuttering. No one stepped in, not even the teacher. Riku stood up. He looked at the bullies and said, "When you mock someone for their voice, it says more about your character than theirs." The room went silent. The teacher said nothing, but Yuto's eyes said everything. That moment traveled through the school like wildfire. By the time Riku was in his final year of school, others leaned on him often for leadership in projects, emotional support, or simply a calm presence when everyone else panicked. Still, he never let it go to his head, because true respect, he knew, wasn't about having influence, it was about how you used it. One rainy day, his teacher broke down in class. Her husband had just passed. Most students sat awkwardly. Riku stood, closed his notebook, and simply walked her out to her car with an umbrella. She later told him, "In a room full of intelligence, you showed the most humanity." That became Riku's quiet motto. Respect is the byproduct of a life lived in kindness, humility, and courage, not noise. He never raised his voice to be heard. He never needed applause, but people remembered him for how he looked you in the eye, for how he showed up when it mattered, for how he never used his strength to impress, only to protect. At his graduation, Riku was chosen to give the closing speech. Not because he had the highest grades, but because he had the deepest impact. He stood at the podium, nervous but steady. And he said, "I used to think respect was something you earned through achievement. Now I know it's something you cultivate through action, through presence, through being the kind of person who makes others feel safe, seen, and inspired, even if no one's watching." Especially if no one's watching. When he finished, the room stood in applause. But Riku, he just bowed humbly and walked off stage. So what made people respect Riku? It wasn't money, it wasn't popularity. It wasn't power, it was the way he carried himself. The way he honored promises, even small ones. The way he treated others, especially those who had nothing to offer him. The way he remained rooted in values when others swayed with the wind. Here's what Riku taught us: keeping your word. When you say something, follow through. Even when it's hard, even when no one's watching. Especially then, listening more than talking. When you truly listen, people feel seen and heard. That's where trust is born, showing up even when no one's watching. Consistency is key. Be reliable, even in the smallest tasks. Admitting when you're wrong, humility shows that you're willing to learn, grow, and take responsibility. And people admire that more than perfection. Giving help without expecting anything back. True strength lies in lifting others without counting the cost or seeking recognition, choosing to act, even when it's hard. Respect is often built in moments of discomfort, when you choose the right thing over the easy thing. And maybe that's the message for you too. You don't need to be loud to be respected. You don't need to be famous to matter. You just need to live in a way that makes your presence a gift. Be reliable when others flake. Be kind when it's easier to be cruel. Be brave enough to stand up for something, even when it's uncomfortable. Remember this: even when no one seems to notice your efforts, someone always does. And even if no one ever claps, you're still building something stronger than applause: character. Because one day, without even realizing it, you'll become the kind of person others look up to. The kind of person who doesn't chase respect, but attracts it. If this story moved you, even just a little, do one small act of strength today. Keep a promise to yourself, defend someone quietly. Choose the hard right over the easy wrong. And then, if you'd like more stories like this, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss more life wisdom videos and much more. We've got many more timeless stories coming your way, ones that might just shift how you see the world and yourself. See you in the next video. Take care.